Welcome to Latte with a Lawyer, a podcast dedicated to bringing you the stories of some of America's most successful lawyers, figuring out what makes them tick, how they creatively solve problems, and how others aspiring to be them can follow in their footsteps.
This meeting is being recorded.
Okay, folks, welcome to another episode of Latte with a Lawyer. I'm your host, Jonathan Brickman. And this afternoon, we have with us Kathleen Rigaut. Did I pronounce it correctly?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, from the law firm of Howson Howson, and she is a patent attorney, and we're going to talk about that. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
Oh, you're welcome.
Yes.
So I know it's the afternoon, and you probably are done drinking coffee, but Latte with a Lawyer, what's your morning beverage of choice?
Well, I'm a patent attorney and I practice in biotechnology. So that means I started as a graduate student, and a graduate student that inside you never dies. So I make a 10-cup pot of coffee every morning. My husband and I drink it, and it's probably Folgers or Maxwell House.
All right.
Now, when I get fancy, I might go to Starbucks for the mocha latte, that one, but not really.
All right,
I'm
okay.
just an old school girl I like the French vanilla cream. That's what's in my coffee.
All right, good. Wait, so you're from Queens, and I can hear the accent coming through loud and clear. So where exactly in Queens?
I grew up in Rockaway Beach, New York. It's a tiny little
Rockaway
piece.
Beach. Sure.
The Ramones sang a song about it. It's only 4 blocks wide. One side is ocean, one side is bay. And my family built the first 6 houses on 131st Street there. And I had a beach house. And then Sandy came and took that to the ocean. But that's another story for another time.
Oh, wow. Oh, I didn't realize Rockaway Beach was considered Queens.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's connected to New York City by the bridge that goes to Brooklyn.
Yeah.
And the bridge that goes to the Cross Bay Bridge and the Marine Parkway.
Yeah, the
Bridge.
Cross Bay. Yeah. I've driven through it many times. My brother used to have a house in Atlantic Beach. I drive through Far Rockaways.
Oh, sure. That's beautiful, Atlantic Beach too. Yeah.
Yeah. I did not realize that was considered Queens. Okay.
Yeah, I still keep an apartment there. I'll never give it up. I kept it when I was trying to rebuild the house. It's a block off the beach, though. I have the indignity now of having to cross the boulevard after growing up in oceanfront property. You should feel sorry for me.
I do. But there's a lot of new development over there. I understand.
It's crazy. I'm actually quite concerned because I'd like to buy back in, but I'm sort of biding my time. My whole family still lives there. My sister's a retired New York City cop. Everybody. Yeah.
Oh,
And
wow.
So I would love to go back. My vision is to retire in New York City and in Ireland, where I have a 300-year-old cottage I restored. That's my plan, my vision.
Nice.
But I don't know. There's too much building. It's too small. And I believe in global warming. And having lost everything you own, the garage and the car one time, it's I'm a little afraid. I have fear. So I have to live high up. I'm looking at those places on the boardwalk, but maybe the 8th floor.
But you're very exposed. Rockaway, I mean, you're like right there. You're super exposed.
Oh, it's right there. So, and having gone through that once, I would loathe to do that again.
Yeah. I don't blame you. Well, I'm in South Florida now. And
what part?
Delray Beach.
Okay. Yeah, it's beautiful there.
20 minutes south of West Palm.
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm a Bostonian.
At your own peril.
at my own peril. I can escape. I'm like 6 miles inland from the water.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, yeah. Well, it's a powerful force. I'll just throw that out there for consideration.
Oh, I know. you don't have to tell me that. I know it is. So that's interesting. So tell me about your story, like how you came from Queens and became a biologist and a patent attorney. Tell me about that journey.
My original plan was to be a medical doctor. And so I went down to the college that gave me the biggest scholarship, because I was one of 5 kids born third, to Virginia Wesleyan College in Norfolk. And I studied biology there and I graduated. And then I went and I got a master's at New York Medical College, still trying to go to medical school. And I didn't get in. And then I went to graduate school at a medical school and I did very well. And at that stage I could have gone, but I was 28 and I had just married my husband. And I was concerned about my life-work balance and babies and being a medical doctor. So I stayed with the PhD and I finished that up, and that was great. And then I decided to go to the NIH. I got an offer for a very good position as a staff fellow at the NIH on tenure track.
You living in
So,
Bethesda?
yeah. So
Oh,
we moved, my husband came with me, gave up his job for 17 years and followed me down to Bethesda. And we lived on Saul Road on Connecticut Avenue. It's a beautiful part of
I
Maryland.
lived in Bethesda for 10 years.
Yeah. And I would ride my bike to the NIH and it was
Yeah.
great. And I worked on immunotoxins that kill T-cell lymphomas and leukemias. And it was very interesting work and it was great. And while I was there, my brother-in-law met my senior partner at my other law firm that I was at the Union League in Philadelphia, a very posh then men's club, you know. They let
Yes.
women in now. So he was lamenting that no lawyers knew enough science to write these patents coming out of one of their big cancer institution clients.
Yeah.
And John said, "Oh, you must meet my sister-in-law. She knows all about that stuff." And that's how I became a lawyer. Okay. Now, my family was filled with lawyers. I have a lot of judges in the line, and my cousins are lawyers, and my grandfather was a lawyer, but I was a scientist. You know, I was going to cure cancer. And so I met Roger at the Union League, and they didn't have any jobs at the time. I did send 4 letters to 4 law firms in Philly. I didn't get a job. And that was in December. And then in March, the person at Roger's firm left and they needed a technical advisor. And so they called me back and said, "Would you come up?" And I said, "Sure." So I went for the real interview and I told them I didn't believe in any science before 10. I didn't see why the law should be any different. And my husband said, "You didn't get that job." I said, "I will stay till the cows come home. I have slept in the ladies' room doing 24-hour time courses, but I'm really not a morning person." But they gave me the job anyway. And it was already March, past the time to apply for law school. But I did go and sit for the LSAT and take the test. Got a book, read the book, went and sat for the test. It was the first time I took a standardized test, because I'd taken the MCATs a few times, where I was like, I had my pencil sharp and I didn't really care because I already had a job. And everybody else was like, oh. And so I went and I did okay. You know, I did what would be the equivalent of like 85, 88% on the bar, you know,
Sure.
And so I went to the law firm. I started in the law firm in May, and I applied to Rutgers, one law school, because it was on the way home and close to where we were renting a house at the time. And I had gotten my PhD at Rutgers. So I figured, you know, come on, they're going to let me in. They know I'm smart. So I applied to Rutgers in Camden, which is a very scenic campus.
Yeah.
And I'm at the law firm, and it's late May now. They're a month. And they're asking, "Are you going to go to law school?" And first I said, you know, they're like, "You don't have to go." I said, "Yeah, I know I don't have to go, but if I don't go, then I won't be a boss here, and that's not going to work for me. So I'll go." And I didn't fall off a stupid truck. So I called the law school and I say, "Hi, this is Kate Rigaut. Any word on my application?" "Oh, Ms. Rigaut, we're just getting ready to send you an acceptance letter." So happy day. So I started at the law firm before I started law school, but I worked full time and I went to law school at night. All right. So for 4 years, and that was a journey. And there were days where I was like, what am I doing? Have I lost my mind completely? But, you know, my whole theory was always get a B or better to maintain credibility. You know what I mean? So I did well. I did well enough in law school, finished it up. And that took 4 years at night. And by then, one of the attorneys at the firm, 2 years after I graduated, she had left, and she was the biotech person. And so myself and my partner, Pat Hagan, we took the practice and we kept it going, and it was all good in the hood. And the next thing you know, about 6 years in, I had 2 associates working for me. And I said, "Gentlemen, you need to make me a partner because you're making me work like a partner. I'm doing everything like a partner." So I was offered partnership in 6.5 years at the firm because they counted my time in law school towards my partnership. And I made partner pretty quickly. And then I built the biotech practice at that firm for 23 years.
Okay, that's
You know,
great.
for me, I love science. You know, if you're a lab rat and you really love science and you're not married to one area, you know, many scientists are like gene therapists or whatever they are. That's their thing. That's their focus. That's all they want to worry about. For me, I can do on 1 week, I can do, you know, ways to put transgenes into plants that make them drought resistant. I can do genetic markers for different pediatric diseases that are common to different cohorts, and then drugs that will treat that disease. My practice is methods for curing arterial injury next week. It's very, very varied, but if you love science, it's very, very good, if that's your thing. So for me, I did kind of take to it like a duck to water, and I do enjoy it still. I find it fascinating, actually, still.
Oh, nice. So you said your sister was a New York City police officer.
Yeah.
So are you the first attorney from your immediate
From my
family?
immediate family, yeah, but my mom's dad was a lawyer.
Yeah, and I know you said they were judge, but
Yeah.
your siblings, no
Oh,
attorneys?
no. My brother Michael works in the financial sector. My sister Kelly was a nurse. We're Michael, Kelly, Carrie, Kate, and Matthew. Do you think we're Irish?
That's not an Irish. Yeah, that's not an Irish
Yeah.
family, is it?
So Kelly was a nurse. I'm a lawyer. Carrie was a cop. My brother Matt was actually murdered in 1980. That's another story. And my
Ooh,
brother Michael is in the financial sector. But so yes, I am the only lawyer in the family of
got
our
it.
siblings. But my cousins are lawyers. My cousins are lawyers. Our family, and my nephew is a patent lawyer too. My brother, the financial guy's son, is a patent attorney in biotech as well.
Oh, wow.
It's in the
Interesting.
genes. In the genes.
It's in the genes, highly educated. Okay.
Mhm. We like to
Uh,
learn.
huh? You
We
like
like to learn.
Yeah, I didn't get that far. I always said, if there was something I was really interested in, at one point I might have got a PhD, but there was nothing that was that interesting to me that I would devote that
I
time.
liked my PhD. I was trying to figure out how a particular virus assembled in vitro, in vivo, how the parts came together to make a viral particle that would go on and be infectious. And interestingly enough, it was a negative stranded RNA virus. COVID's an RNA virus. So, I learned a little bit on the way. That's
Oh,
why.
interesting. So do you think we're going to come up with a universal RNA vaccine?
I think that the Moderna technology has great potential. Okay. The fact that they can get it in and make it work.
Yeah,
Now, the problem is the longevity of the therapy. It seems to wear out. When you put in an attenuated virus that, was alive, you seem to get longer term immunity,
right.
like your chickenpox vaccine, your measles
Yeah.
vaccine. These vaccines don't appear to have the same type of longevity, and I think that can be a drawback for them. But for something like in the immediate, like a cancer therapy, or particularly blood cancers, which are accessible, I think solid tumors will always pose an issue as long, but now we're making liposomes with antibodies on them that target them. Right now, biotech is fascinating because we're finding all the tools to make it more cell specific. Remember, chemotherapies in general were highly toxic because they would hit your healthy cells as well.
It's like a shotgun. You're going after everything.
Right. Now it's a better day,
Okay.
Yeah, let me see if I can get this light on. Sorry.
I mean, I have no business even asking you any kind of like scientific questions, but I'll ask you one anyway. It doesn't, to me, it doesn't make just sort of logically. I mean, why, if you're generating this antibody response, why would it matter whether you're introducing the actual virus itself or just using another methodology? If you're getting in antibodies.
Well, it's not just the antibodies that you want. You want the T killer cell response. There's a lot of different.
Oh, so you don't get that with the RNA.
Well, you do. You absolutely do get it. But I think because it's an RNA vaccine, the molecule that triggers the antibody response is shorter-lived. Okay, where I'm not exactly sure the mechanism of why it's so transient.
Yeah.
But I think that is the problem.
Oh, okay.
The fact that the immunity, we all took that vaccine, or most of us did.
Right.
And the fact that the immunity was gone in a year or two, isn't the same as our measles and chickenpox that have stood us in good stead for 50
But
years.
I thought it's because it continued to mutate. I mean, we get a flu vaccine every year too, right? It's not that
That
doesn't last.
mutates too.
Yeah.
That's true too. That this one has a sloppy polymerase, and so it does change. But I did write a patent, and this is all public because it was on TV, for one of my people at Penn invented COVID gum. He takes the gum and he puts in the ACE receptor. He had cloned it for hypertension a couple of years ago. You know, that molecule that the COVID binds is a known human molecule that's important in hypertension, ACE2.
Oh,
He made a clone of ACE2 in lettuce leaves, and he puts it in gum. And he's going for IND for PPE for this gum. You chew the gum and it harvests all the oh, I'm frozen. It harvests the COVID out of your mouth and it traps it, and then you could just throw it out. Okay.
oh, no
So
kidding.
yeah, it debulks. And so he's of course trying to apply to other viruses as well, because it makes perfect sense to do so. So, you know, it's very exciting. Yeah. And this is just brand new, right off the hot presses, actually.
No kidding. Well, that's the beauty of science, right? It continues to like iterate and get better and better and better. That's what I love about it. Right.
Yeah, well, like I said, it's never boring, really.
Yeah, I can't imagine it's boring. So so that's interesting. Okay, that's an interesting path to get there. I mean, are you strictly so you're writing patents? I mean, do you get involved with litigation ever?
So what I write them, I file them, and I opine on them. Okay.
Okay.
So I do freedom to operate opinions. Of course, you know, most of us do. We do freedom to operate. We do, you know, paths forward, you know, where you might want to go with your inventions. You know, that's how we have clients. We do a lot of university work at my firm. So the client, sometimes they might not be as generous with their billing as, you know, corporate, but
Yeah.
they are the client that keeps giving. If they like you, you know, I've had the same clients for over 20 years because they like what I do.
Oh, I see. Like local in the
Well,
area?
it's local, but it can be all over, because here's the story about tech transfer in America. You either have to kill your boss or move, okay?
Right.
Because once they get those directors positions, nobody's moving. So
Right.
I've gotten clients because my people, like I worked for Wyoming for a while, I worked for Oregon for a while, because my people get a job there and then they call me back, you know?
Oh, I see.
So
Oh, you mean faculty that move from one institution to
yeah,
another.
my faculty keep me when they go, but also the tech transfer people that I work with that we get along with well will hire me again to the new place.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I work
No,
with,
I used to sell into the university. I sort of know a good bit about that, but you know, faculty have tenure at the university, so they're not moving around too much, are they?
not that much, but sometimes they do if they get a better offer,
Okay,
especially in biotech, because you know they want them to come in to be the head of this or that.
sure.
You know, like the COVID gum guy, he was down in Florida for quite a while. Dr. Henry Danielle, he was down in Florida for a while, but now he's at UPenn. You know,
That's close to, yeah.
that's
I just dropped
yeah.
my son off at Drexel, which
Ah,
shares the same space as Penn, as you
yep.
know.
Very good school. Well, next time you're in town, we'll have dinner.
Yeah. It was really interesting. My wife gets mad at me when I say this, but like, you know, you walk down Chestnut Street, on the one side, you get this beautiful, you know, Ivy League, you know, campus, Penn. And then you go to the other side, it's like a little grittier. Still nice, but
Oh, wow. Well, Philly is an
Drexel.
interesting city in a way.
Well, I mean,
There are,
Drexel, like the comparison between Penn and Drexel.
yep. No, it is. It is. But they're both excellent schools.
Yeah, you know, I think they're good. So, and Philly's a great city.
Oh,
Yeah,
I love Philly.
I'm
It's
sorry
like it has everything New York has without the madness, you know?
about the madness. Great restaurants.
Right. The food is great. The museums are great. Even the plays are good. You know, if
Yeah,
you like to see shows,
I
Walnut
do.
Street.
I haven't been to. We're going to go back there again for Parents'
Yeah.
Weekend in October, I think.
Hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll be back there again.
You like seafood, Ocean Prime by the Union League is really tasty.
Okay. We found this little Italian restaurant in South Philly that my
Mhm.
son found. Oh my God.
Oh,
Like
they
a
know how to
little,
cook down in South Philly, the Italian
oh
people.
my God. It
You
was
know,
amazing.
their sauce, right?
Oh, it was on the sidewalk, like in this little, like nondescript neighborhood.
Hmm.
And they came out, it's like, it was amazing. So,
Right.
yeah.
It has like 10 tables in there, right?
Yes. Actually,
Yes.
there was like two inside. We sat outside in the sidewalk.
Right.
So
Yeah,
and
no,
it was quite good.
Mm.
So all right, patent. I mean, I've talked to probably I don't know, a handful of patent attorneys. You guys are interesting cats there, I have to say, because it's a different flavor of law. It's highly technical and scientific, right?
Right. For me, yes, especially.
So, but you're not the scientist, but you have to sort of opine and communicate that, right?
Right. Well, I was a scientist, and that's
No,
where
I
I
know
can do
you
the
were,
gene.
but I'm saying in this
Well, I
function,
talk
you,
their language. No, I don't touch a pipette anymore ever.
yeah,
Okay. But I tell them how to touch the pipette. You want to do this experiment here, that will help our claim.
you still
You
have to
know,
stay very current, like to like offer.
absolutely.
You do.
Science moves like the wind. Yeah, like, I give lectures for autumn, the Association of University Technology Managers. I gave a lecture on CRISPR a couple of years ago. That's the gene therapy technique where you go in and you cut out the bad gene and you replace it with a good gene.
Yeah.
It's all the rage now. There's companies all over about it. They're fighting over at UC and Broad up at Harvard. Anyway, you have to learn all that. I didn't know that in 1980. I got my PhD in 1992. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. A long time ago.
CRISPR didn't exist,
Right.
so if you don't stay current, you're not going to get current technologies. I've written patents on in utero gene editing. Okay. So this is the brave new world. Right now we're doing it in animals, but you have an animal with an inborn error of metabolism, sickle cell anemia, think cystic fibrosis, the kind of diseases that are driven by a single mutation in a protein. You go in, you're using CRISPR perhaps, you edit out that bad codon in utero before the fetus gets beyond a stage, you put in the correct gene, and then the fetus develops normally. This is where we're going. Okay. Right now it's unethical in humans. And although the Chinese have made a couple of blunders there, but, this is the way it's going to be. My niece has cystic fibrosis. I welcome this technology,
Okay. Yeah. Interesting. But I mean, you can't possibly know every scientific.
Oh, no. Like, for example, we'll have people who are chemical patent attorneys. I'm a biotechnologist. You have
Right.
folks who specialize in microbiology. Then you have folks who didn't get a PhD. And so, but there's science that needs to be done that's not that deep and dark. And so they can do that. But Bill Bach, my partner, he's an electrical engineer.
Okay. Yeah.
At my other place, we had an engineer who was at Rochester, who was an optical physics engineer. It's a bunch of eggheads collected in a group is what patent attorneys are.
Yeah. 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 No, no, I see that.
I've only been in boutiques, so we had the chemical person or the chemical group, the electrical group and the mechanical group, and then you have the biotech group.
Got it. But in
Yeah.
order to write a patent, again, you have the scientists who came up with this thing. What exactly? I'm still a little fuzzy for me. Like, what exactly you're doing? Are you just communicating what they've invented? Do you really need to
Right.
understand
Well,
the science?
writing a patent is a bit formulaic. It doesn't matter what area you're writing it in. Okay. If you have to write a patent according to how the patent office has told us they want to see a patent, there has to be a title, a field of the invention section, a background of the invention section, a summary of the invention, which just tracks the claim language, the brief description of the drawings, and the detailed description of the invention and perhaps references or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to do it in a format that's required. All right.
Sure.
So depending on the field I'm in, for example, like I will have boilerplate sections of a patent application if I'm making a transgenic plant, for example. I have to know if I'm going to be in a monocot or a dicot, and then I'm going to have a list of every plant that falls in that category. So what you have is once you start getting a name in particular art areas, you'll have the boilerplates you need for the detailed description of the invention. I work on a lot of siRNA and antisense RNAs. Again, these are molecules that go in and shut down gene expression. I'll have a whole section of that rewritten, and then it's tailored to the targeted gene or the type of siRNA molecule I might be using. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Same with the plant patents. What am I doing? Am I going to put it in by electroporation? That's where I shoot the gene into the plant cell with a little gun. Or am I going to do it with a plant virus that will drag the target gene in as a decoy kind of thing, like a Trojan horse? So all of these things I will have written up, and I will tell them, you might want to do it this way, or this way. So sometimes all of those ways come in. So that's where I help my clients, because I know the big picture. And part of the reason you write the patent is to block your competitors.
Sure.
It's not
Of
just to
course.
protect your invention, it's to be a blocking prior art document down the road to annoy them. Okay, so the broader you go, you don't want to go so broad that you step on your own feet for your own next invention. And I have done that. That's
Oh.
bad. Okay, because I get very creative. I'm a creative patent attorney. Some are not. Some will just take what you give them, and that's what the patent office gets. I like think about it, make it, throw a bell, a whistle, and sometimes you have to be careful doing that because you can then be just before you're fully enabled, for something to be patented, it must be novel, non-obvious, enabled, fully described in your written description. And so sometimes I get a little creative and then we have to shuck and jive a bit to get the claim later. So it's a fine line. There's tension there.
Okay, that's helpful to understand. So, I mean, you're really just helping, take what was created and communicate it in a way that protects them, but doesn't limit from future.
Right. And I also write it as a package that Big Pharma wants to buy. So I've been lucky enough to write my university patents, but they've been licensed to Merck. They've been licensed to Bristol-Myers Squibb, DuPont, so if you write the patents well, everybody makes the money.
Okay. So is that what's happening regularly? The university, I mean, the drug companies are
in
licensing?
a perfect world, that's the goal. You want to, some of them start their own small biotech companies.
Or to a biotech firm that wants to take it, what you've created, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So, and even the ones who did start their own biotech companies, and I have a number of those, they get investment money and off they go. Even those, many ultimately will be sold to Big Pharma.
Yeah, no, I get it. I understand. It's kind of like in the tech world too, where, a little tech company gets in the way of Microsoft and they just take them out.
Exactly.
Biotech, same thing with drug discovery. Yeah.
Right. And the inventor goes laughing all the way to the bank. At my old place, we had folks down from Wake Forest, and they invented, it was called the VAC. Okay. And it was a tube on a sponge. And there was mockery in the hallway. This can't be patentable, but it was a therapeutic sponge, and it was a light suction attached to a light, suction apparatus. And it ended up being able to heal heretofore unhealable bed sores, gunshot wounds, because the sponge with a plastic wrap over it with the light suction would promote granulation and healing of these wounds that was not achievable before these gentlemen invented this technology. That was making something like $100 million a year. And then it was litigated for 10 years after that. Okay. Because as I said, everything's funny. Everything's all fun and games till money gets involved, and it's not in a ha-ha way. All right.
Right.
So big litigation. And then the first litigation come out, the patent's valid, but not infringed. So nobody's happy. Then they go again. And then we came out, the patent was valid and infringed. So we come out looking like a rose, but it was a long slog. And my partners who did work on that portfolio, that aged them a lot, because the first thing they do when they're going to go for, to invalidate a patent is they go for the patent attorney. They try to assert improper conduct for not citing prior art. Okay, you played hide the ball with the patent office. We have a duty of candor to the office, both our inventors and ourselves. We must give them all of the art we are aware of that would impact the patentability of our patent. So the first thing they're going to say is you didn't do that. And that was an issue in that litigation, even though we overcame it. But that's the first place you're going to go. So you want your patents to make money, but not so much they get litigated, because that will put gray hairs in your head.
Got it. So do you have people actually litigate the case? I assume you're not litigating.
No. I've worked in both of the firms I've worked at are boutique firms. What we will do, we serve as the patent experts.
Okay.
So we assist the litigators. So if there is a litigation, I myself has been involved in one, and they'll call you up and they'll say, come and talk to us about what is this technology, what should we be focusing on, where are the issues here in this litigation.
Okay.
But we may be witnesses, but we will not be the litigators. Now, there are people who may do that, but they're few and far between. I have a few friends who are big litigators. Someone I went to Catholic school with is, Kenobi Martins, who's written up for one of the most successful patent litigators in the country. But, that's a career choice.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a prosecutor. I can, first of all, I can be wherever I am in the world and do my job wherever there's an internet connection. I don't go to depositions. I travel for business and give lectures and might go see clients, but I'm not on any litigation schedule.
Mhm.
My friend Joe, he was away from his family, 8 months out of 12, and he was one of 12 kids. And his wife only had two. And she said, I'm not having any more till you're home. And he's a big litigator, so they only have two. It's a thing. I think it's a lifestyle choice. For me, it's perfect.
Yeah.
Because I am a bit of an egghead, so I like this. And I think I could litigate. I did moot court in law school. I won, but because I don't mind speaking in public, but I just don't think that lifestyle would be for me. I don't like to fly.
Do you have any children?
Two, a 15-year-old and a 20-year-old. Today's his birthday.
Oh, nice. Oh, so they're still in school. Well, one's in college at 20?
Yeah, he's at Monco. He has a bit of a learning disability, so we're starting him slow, and then he'll go to a 4-year once he gets through this.
Got it.
And Kelly's only in 9th grade. So my
Only
boy
ninth.
is Jim, my daughter's Kelly, because we're Irish.
We're Irish. Wait, but is your husband Irish too?
Well, my last name is Rigaut because he made me change my name. I was a Douglas. That was a fight for 3 months. But his mom was a Flanagan, born in Ireland. His dad was a Frenchman that was first generation.
Yeah, I didn't think
so I call that good hybrid vigor. Okay.
Well, you got a good sense of humor, I'll tell you that. You got the queen sense of humor.
This is why I get jobs, because I'm a patent attorney with a pulse. Some of them are a little dull.
Correct. You got a personality. No, I get it. And you also have you got a strong constitution. If most people that had come back from where you just came back they go to sleep.
I know. You know what? I always say I'll rest when I'm dead. I just don't want to be as soon as I thought it might have been this week.
Oh, man. Well, listen, I will let you go now because we've been on for quite a bit here.
Okay.
What do you want to leave the audience with? What do you want them to know about your firm and you, and what's the best way to connect?
Okay. First of all, our firm is one of the oldest patent firms in the country. We were founded in 1853, and we're still here. And we've written on amazing patents, and we actually hired the first woman patent attorney back around the 1890s. We're in Blue Bell, Pennsylvania, Howson Howson, LLP, and our website is www.howson.com, and you can find us there. You can find my name. Google is a beautiful thing. We work in all areas of biotech, chemistry, and electrical engineering, and we do copyrights and trademarks as well.
Excellent.
Mm-hmm.
Very good. Actually, I have a degree in civil engineering, but that was enough tech for me.
Mm-hmm.
It burned me out at that point. I'm a business person.
So you must love this, though. This is like, do you like it? I mean,
oh, this is really just a way for us to connect with the legal community, by doing this. So that's all. Mm-hmm. Let me just sort of close here that we can chat. Anyway, just for everybody, this is, again, you go by Kate, right?
Yes.
Kate Rigaut from the law firm Howson Howson, who is a patent attorney in Pennsylvania, Blue Bell, Pennsylvania. And this show is sponsored by EmotionTrac, which is a legal tech platform that helps litigators prepare for trials and mediations. And thank you very much, Kate.
It's always a pleasure. We'd be happy to serve as an expert on one of those.
Beautiful.